in Ohio Congressman Mike Turner, who is a member of the House Armed Services Committee and the ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, welcome to the show. Okay, so we have Pelosi and Biden both come out and said how strong our stance is on Taiwan. The interesting thing about Biden is the only people walking back his comments on official U.S. policy are White House staff, not elected officials. So does China have a reason to believe that this is a change in U.S. policy?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a change, but it certainly is very humorous to watch the White House contradict its own statements on policy and then have be curious as to why people don't understand what their policy is. Now, Nancy Pelosi's been clear, and in her Washington Post editorial, she came out and directly said that the United States will defend Taiwan. She did not say just provide it with weapons, but it will defend Taiwan. And what's interesting about that, of course, is that while she's making those strong statements of we will defend Taiwan, she's also, in leading the House, proposing cuts to defense spending, proposing cuts to our nuclear weapons systems, all while China is continuing to militarize space, expand its nuclear weapons programs, and certainly becoming an aggressor state in the region. This is, though, interesting to watch the conflict within the White House, about the White House, and then, of course, Nancy Pelosi pulling them. But this isn't the first time she's done this. She just went to Ukraine and was in Kyiv with President Zelensky, again, pushing the White House forward on policies where the president is not leading.
Congressman, here's the thing that's interesting. A lot of Republicans, I think you included, came out in support of her going to Taiwan. But do you think it would have been better if she had made this a bipartisan delegation, included Republicans in it?
Well, I think it's always better when there's bipartisan groups and delegations. But I think this one was very, very difficult because she was making what seemed to be very inflammatory statements. Obviously this was part of her campaign since she had coordinated a Washington Post editorial at the same time. I think it'd be hard for any Republicans to step forward and say, I'm going to go be a part of that. Also with the administration, the president openly stating she shouldn't go, and the drama of is she going to go or is she not going to go. I think it was very hard to say we'll support her, but at the same time, Republicans going with her.
Okay, so in a statement yesterday, the Chinese Foreign Ministry described Pelosi's visit to Taiwan as a serious violation of the One China principle. In an op-ed, though, in the Washington Post, Pelosi says that her trip in no way contradicts the One China policy. China has already announced that it will hold 4 days of, quote, necessary and just joint air and sea drills beginning tomorrow. Are you concerned in any way about further escalation from China?
Well, I'm very concerned about escalation from China, and not necessarily as a result of Nancy Pelosi's trip, but just what they're doing. You've heard President Xi himself come forward and state that they would take Taiwan by force. That's something that obviously is against the One China policy. The positioning that China is doing with its military, with the investment that it's doing in its military, they're acquiring weapons and capabilities solely for the purposes of an adventuresome and aggression against Taiwan itself. So I'm very concerned about it. I think we're seeing all the signs of it are being put in place. It's something certainly our military believes could happen in the next several years. So I think, if we want to be curious as to whether or not this would happen, just believe China's own statement.
Congressman, I got about 30 seconds left. Let me ask you this. We should take great pride in the fact that the U.S. killed al-Zawahiri, this number 2 to bin Laden yesterday or over the weekend. Are you concerned, though, that terrorism is back in Afghanistan and it poses a threat to the United States based on that botched withdrawal from Afghanistan?
Oh, absolutely. The president said that al-Qaeda was gone from Afghanistan. Well, clearly they're not. The president himself having to then take this action that had killed Zawahiri, which I think was excellent that he is gone. But it certainly shows al-Qaeda is there, and we need a more aggressive policy from this administration as to how to address it.
Congressman Mike Turner, thanks for your time and insight this evening. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thanks. Good seeing you.